Hello everyone, and welcome back to day 27 of the 30 days building challenge with me, Nancy. We are back after a massive technical issue where I broke my whole computer, but I'm not going to talk about that today. Let's go straight into building. I'm back on Arcadia, and I have this whole massive section of the base right behind me that looks like a mess. There's some random cow and sheep farms that have netherrack in it. There's torches everywhere, there's sand. I fixed up a couple holes here from creepers. Yeah, a little bit of a nightmare. So I would like to build something here on the jungle tree right behind me. Well, maybe not the tree itself. I think we're gonna try to keep the tree, this one here, but maybe chop down these smaller ones and build some sort of fisherman's hut. And the reason for that is that I have this little fisher stall here that sells fish, but actually we don't have too much storage here, as you can see. Things are filling up quite fast. We have a little bit of space left in these barrels, but before long, with all the fishing that I'm doing, it's definitely going to fill up. So I'd like to build a little storage room specifically for fish, aka a cottage of some sort for fishermen or something like that. There we go. I've cleared out some space here from the trees, and I think I'm going to flatten this out a little bit. There's some yucky gravel here as well, which is just not nice terrain. A little bit of lag there on the server. Nice. And my idea for this actually is to not build on the ground directly, but rather, what did I mean to do that? But rather create some sort of a dock or a deck that goes on top, and then we're going to build the houses on the deck itself, so we can use that to sort of transition down to the coastline with lots of little fishing boats and stuff all hanging around this almost like a marina kind of situation. Let's get started on the deck here, and I think I'm just going to randomly place down blocks and see what we get. So I'm kind of imagining top slabs here, coming out just slightly above the water like this. And there's going to be a lot of these going out constantly, but that's not the main focus of today's build. It's just going to be a little cottage that kind of lives on this section of the dock right under the street. I think that would look really cute. So let's build up a decent platform for it. There we go. This hopefully will be enough space for us to start working on it, but if need be, we can always expand the deck out for just now into something with a little bit more room. So yeah, I will adjust the size of this as needed as I go along. And now for the actual house, it'd be cute if it starts off on the floor, but then it goes onto the deck. Actually, this tree is kind of in the way, even though the whole point is that it's meant to be under the tree. So maybe we can start off here. How does that look? We just remove this part of the deck. Yeah. And then yeah, we just don't need this part. Let's build this up slightly. And I think not too tall, because we do want this to fit cozily under the tree. And now should we go out this way? Is this going to be enough space for a little cute house? I'm just going to try to use the same materials as I've done everywhere else. I will transition later on to more of a darker color as we go down into this forest area. Less sandstone and more sort of natural materials like wood and stuff. But for now, we're going to stick to the sandstone for a little bit longer. Materials, that is sandstone here, beautiful invisible sandstone, a little bit of birch logs, of course. We might need some oak planks and some oak logs as well. And do I want to go darker at the top or the bottom for this build? I think we're going to texture from bottom to the top, so it's going to be a little bit darker here on this side, and then we're going to go up into the birch, and then finally into the sandstone. Yeah, that works for me. Okay, so far this is looking like a carbon copy of the very first house we built, the Nisi's hut. So I'm gonna try to work on differentiating this a little bit, whether it's through color or shape, because everything else about this is pretty much the same just now. So if you take a look here on the inside, it's quite a tiny little room. So I think what we're actually gonna do is build it out a little bit more towards the ocean here. Give this like an extension of some sort. You can also have a lot more space for storage. We're gonna build it out like this. There we go, a nice little sort of almost L-shaped house. There we go. Let's put the pillars back in as well. And we're definitely going to need to extend the dock out a little bit here. I chose our accent color and I decided to go for bamboo, but Don't love how the bamboo looks with the jungle wood. I actually don't mind it specifically with the birch and the sandstone and all of that, but with the jungle wood, it does look a little bit odd. So I decided, you know what, we could maybe try this. I don't know how I feel because the pattern is very repetitive. But instead of jungle, if we do strip blocks of bamboo, how does that look? Does it have a fisherman's kind of vibe? I hope so. It feels like a very, I don't know, rustic block. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's too samey. There's too much of the same pattern. Okay, these will need to go. And let's find a different block we can put here in the middle. That's not jungle. That's still gonna make sense for my brain. We could maybe try oak logs. How would oak logs look? Oh, that's not bad actually. That's not bad. Okay, let's try oak logs. Yeah, okay, I think I like this the most. I think we're just gonna leave it there. I can't think of anything else. I think going in with a darker color would make it worse, like spruce or dark oak. But I feel like normal oak is just dark enough that it's gonna work. It's different enough from most of the materials I use to texture. We do have the planks, but I don't think I've actually used stripped oak log itself anywhere. No, I haven't. I've been quite greedy with my oak, so now I get to use it here instead. Yeah, I think overall I do really like this color scheme. It's kind of light and airy, but it has a little bit of character because of the texture on the bamboo itself. It's not completely flat and boring, so big fan of that. Now, I think the only downside with this build so far is it is very monochromatic. So basically all our colors are very similar and it makes it look a little bit boring on that side, and we can't be having that, guys. I have the most colorful, brightest space imaginable, right? So I'm going to add some sort of decoration here, work out exactly how I want to connect these deck sections as well, because I considered having this entire thing be like a stairway upwards, but it just wasn't working. So maybe I'll have one or two stairways and then we can add some blocks here on the sides to kind of mark that. I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm doing something. Add some plants, some corals, something here for a bit of color and a bit of life. And then we can work on the inside. I have this awkward space here at the front, and I think I just want to use this as sort of a makeshift storage room. So add some random blocks here that I think look like they could be randomly left behind here by the fishermen. I think we're gonna might need more barrels, but something like this I think should work. I love how messy this angle looks. It definitely feels like a little bit more rundown part of town already, where people are just too busy living their lives to really care about the splendor of the holiday resort over in that direction. Now let's put in some storage on the inside. I think that is the only thing we need in here. And we have loads of space here around the back to decorate later on if we wish to put in something here. I think specifically this corner could do with maybe some chairs and tables or something. But I'm going to leave that until I build a couple more buildings in this area and I decide what to do with the whole theme. But yeah, this is looking wonderfully messy. And this is looking very wonderfully dangerous on this direction as well. So we're going to need to light the place up. But let's put in some barrels and some chests for our fish. And we should be good to go with this build. Okay, barrels in. Let's add some fishy boys to these guys. I don't know if I brought enough fish actually to label all of these. I didn't, but that's okay. We have a couple spare slots. There is a bunch of fishing stuff that I have just been burning and throwing away, like saddles and, you know, the non-stackables, so it might be good to actually dedicate some of these barrels to those as well, in case I ever need a big supply of saddles for a reason. And should I lock these? Probably. Am I going to? No. And there we have it. I think it was basically finished in here. I'm going to keep it very simple because the barrels and the item frames give a lot of clutter to this place as it is. I don't think we need anything else in here. Let's take another look here from the front. Break the storage. I think it's looking really cute. I think it's looking really good. And I look forward to building a couple more of these little homes all over this oceanfront area. And hopefully it's all going to look very cute. And obviously I still need to tidy up this section. So maybe tomorrow we build a nice little farm here instead. That's it for today's build a day. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks very much for watching and I'll catch you next time. Goodbye!